This is Jason, and you're listening to the Talk Wrestling Radio Network. Wrestling, entertainment, community.
Welcome, everyone, to another edition of Shotgun Saturday Afternoon here on TWRnetwork.com. We are just 1 week away from Slammiversary. Can you believe it? So, of course, we'll be talking about everything but one of the biggest TNA pay-per-views of the year. If you want that talk, tune in this Tuesday on FTW Podcast, and we'll be previewing it as well as on Saturday. We'll preview it on next Saturday at 1:30 on TWRnetwork.com. This edition of SSA has been recorded on May 25th, 2013, locally. Unfortunately, we could not go live, having some major internet issues, but I can still record locally, so that's what we're going to do. So no one heard this live. Instead, you're only available to get this, or only able to get this on demand by downloading the MP3 or using your podcatchers or however you listen to us. We'll also be on replay over on TWNetwork.com. On this episode, we're going to be talking about the turning of Mark Henry and Randy Orton. Which one makes the most sense? Which one will they do? Plus, we were supposed to be talking some fantasy booking with FTW writer Chevy Daniels. How would we book The Miz? Unfortunately, we're going to have to postpone that conversation. So I'll probably answer some Ask FTW that we had left over. Talk about some other unanswered questions that we had over Extreme Rules. So stay tuned for that. We're also going to be playing some music. If you're listening to this on RSS or through the podcast, you're not going to hear the music, but you can hear it on replay over at TWR Network. My name is Garvin, and in the playlist today is some Milk Music, Spinto Band, The Flaming Lips, some really cool stuff that I like, and I think you will too. And after you listen to this, if you listen to this as soon as it comes out, there's a brand new Wrestling Randomness airing tonight at 7 p.m. over on TWRnetwork.com. So lots of cool stuff. If you haven't already done so, check out TWRnetwork.com. There's a lot of cool shows, all of them live for the most part, and wrestling talk. You know, you guys want wrestling talk all the time. That's why you're on the internet, so you guys should check it out. So this is Shotgun Saturday Afternoon here on Talk Wrestling Radio, and we've had a bunch of technical difficulties all morning. Not sure what's going on, so you are only able to listen to this on replay or download, which is really odd for us because we've been doing live shows for the last year and a half. So doing a taped version is kind of awkward. I guess I like the distraction of the live chat to be able to see what other people are saying and their opinions and bringing those into the show. I mean, that's really cool. So I still cannot connect to the internet right now. Trying to tweet to let everyone know that the show is not streaming live. Obviously, they know that, but it is kind of weird. So, anyways, yes, this is Shotgun Saturday Afternoon. This is not my personal bitch fest. So, instead, what we're going to talk about is the idea of doing a face turn for Mark Henry and a heel turn for Randy Orton. All right, so what will WWE do? I mean, these are both turns that have been talked about for months. Orton's heel turn has been something that the fans and Randy Orton have been very vocal about wanting to have happen. So, obviously, there's a lot of openings right now for them to actually follow through and do this. Randy Orton heel turn would definitely make that character a lot more interesting. So, overall, let's first talk about Mark Henry. I mean, obviously, Randy Orton's heel turn, is the obvious one. The face turn for Mark Henry isn't as much. But let's talk about where we are right now and what we could be leading to. The first thing with Mark Henry, Obviously, Mark Henry is the super heel. I guess you could say he's been going up against guys like Mark Henry, or I'm sorry, like Sheamus, and Sheamus is being pushed as this big baby face, despite Sheamus doing a lot of heel things. And I think if you look back and you remove all the commentary and you remove all of the ideas that we have of Sheamus, and you just look at what has taken place over the last 2 months between these two characters, you could easily say, and even look at Ryback, even look at Mark Henry versus Ryback, you can look at those two as well, and you can easily see that Mark Henry, despite being talked up as the heel, was really playing the babyface the entire time. You have Sheamus attacking him and basically cheating to in the arm wrestling match, and as well as in the tug of war match with the bro kicks and everything. So you have that opportunity for them to build that up, and then look at what happened after Extreme Rules. He had that backstage segment, and I can't remember if it was with Josh Matthews or Matt Stryker, but they asked him, where are you going? And his reply was, I'm going home. Obviously, what they're doing here is they're writing him off, and there has been talk that maybe this has to do with an injury that he sustained at Extreme Rules, that it's possible he needs some time off. But when he comes back, what do you do with him? What do you do to take advantage of the reaction that he does get in the ring? And overall, what do you do to him to take advantage of just his size and his character and his pure emotion in the ring? He's got charisma, and we've seen him as a heel for most of his 17, 18-year-long career, but he does come with a face side, and I know his promo style has definitely opened up over the last couple of years, that there's definitely an opportunity here. So let's talk about what all the rumors are. All the rumors are saying that it's going to be Mark Henry versus Big E Langston at the next pay-per-view, not Payback, but SummerSlam. That's what they're going to be building up. But how do you do that? How do you set up a match like that makes sense, that keeps Mark Henry's character intact, keeps Big E Langston's character intact? Right now they're two heels, and if you ask Lee from Wrestling News Source, that never works. So you have to do something. What is that something? You've got to turn one of those guys, and you can't turn Big E Langston without turning Dolph Ziggler. And since it doesn't seem like there's any real need to turn Dolph Ziggler right now, or AJ, and you can't split up that group, because if you split up that group, then that's just another reason why it seems that Dolph Ziggler's weak with this whole concussion thing. So you've got to keep Big E Langston together with Dolph, and you've got to keep Big E Langston a heel as long as Dolph and AJ remain so. So you have that all that leads to is a turn for Mark Henry. So would it be successful? Totally. I think for a majority of us on the FTW panel, if you ask anyone over on TWR, I mean, we're all behind Mark Henry, especially over a guy like Sheamus. We all see what's happening and understand that, despite WWE trying to suggest that Sheamus is the face, we all really look past that and see that Mark Henry has those face qualities that we like, and really the wrestling qualities that we like. So this is a huge opportunity. I hope to take advantage of it. I like the idea of Mark Henry versus Big E Langston. It will definitely put Big E Langston on the map, because right now, I mean, he's there. We're all aware of him, but he hasn't really done a whole lot individually. This would be his first opportunity to really set a tone for his career. It's not just helping Dolph. It's not going after guys like Del Rio in preparation for their title match. It's an opportunity to give Big E Langston something to do without destroying the awesome stable that they have right now. So definitely look for that to happen. I don't see why they wouldn't, but WWE, it all depends on what the injury is. If Mark Henry is definitely injured and is out for a while, that could definitely sour that would stop that momentum altogether. But if Mark Henry is good to go and we can see a big man versus a big man, I think this is a perfect opportunity to do so. And, this is his last real run. Mark Henry can't have more than 2 years left in his WWE career. So why not give him another face turn and, really give Dolph Ziggler a challenger heading into, the end of the year. So you have Mark Henry versus Big E Langston. He gets through Big E Langston. That might be your face, world title contender after SummerSlam. So, really cool opportunity there that I'm looking forward to if that's the direction they go. That's the direction I would go if I was fantasy booking it, but we'll see. On the opposite side, we have Randy Orton. Randy Orton has been face for 3-4 years, it seems, and has really kind of languished. It's obvious he's not into what he's doing. The crowd's kind of into it, I guess. I guess you could say that. At least the younger crowd, the female crowd, they still like Randy Orton, but generally speaking, he's boring. I mean, we've all made fun of him. The way he does his promos are totally awful. But overall, what we have right now is a golden opportunity to push Randy Orton heel. It would make sense. It's not just him, turning on Sheamus or turning on another good guy. It's him. Basically going back to what we liked about him years ago, and that is, kind of going against the grain and going against, the rules. Him breaking rules, not just, going against the good guys. So what rule are we talking about? We're talking about what happened at Extreme Rules. What move did Randy Orton pull out that we haven't seen for so long because it was banned? The punt. That's something we haven't seen in so long, and the commentary kind of just grazed over it, and we didn't really see it on Raw or SmackDown, but here's the thing. What we did see on Raw is Triple H. Triple H is playing up this concussion angle, which is really cool, by the way, I think. And we did talk about this on FTW 165. If you haven't listened to it yet, definitely check it out. I'm going to kind of be rehashing a little bit of what we discussed there, but really that is a really cool angle because it's going to bring to light this whole concussion thing. That's a big story, regardless if you're, an NFL fan or, a baseball fan. Concussions are becoming a really big deal and a hot topic, and I think it's brilliant that they're bringing it into WWE in this capacity. But they have an opportunity to really push it. So what's that opportunity? That opportunity is to basically have Randy Orton once again become the legend killer and go after Triple H. You can't keep Triple H with Curtis Axel. I think that's a major mistake. Instead, you let Curtis Axel do what he needs to do to become the character and the wrestler and the guy that we think he can be, especially underneath the the management of Paul Heyman. And you really, if you separate those two, you've got to do something with Triple H. And the last thing we want to see is another Triple H versus Brock Lesnar thing. I think that's going to come down the road, but right now, Randy Orton is available. You have Randy Orton keep the punt and keep using it, especially up against a guy like Triple H. Have him be the guy that takes Triple H out, and that is the start of his major heel push that we all need to see. So where does Randy Orton go from there, though? That's the thing. There is no set feud for him. If he takes out Triple H, we might see another Randy Orton versus John Cena feud, which is always possible, but no one, well, I can't say no one. I don't want to see it, but Ryback versus Cena really isn't doing it for anyone. I like Ryback. I think Ryback deserves an opportunity and doesn't deserve a lot of the flack that he's getting. But Orton, as a heel, would be over in that feud if it was happening right now. So that's where I see Randy Orton going next. If I was fantasy booking this, again, I'd have Orton go after Triple H. Triple H is in the ring talking about concussions, and somehow this leads to some kind of confrontation with Orton. Maybe Triple H calls Orton out for using the punt even though it's banned. I think that's how you go into it, and hopefully they do this. This is something that's needed. They need to do something with Orton. He's stale. He's boring. And this won't necessarily change the amount of boringness that he has, but it does give him something interesting to do, and it's a change of pace for Orton, and his pace is really slow. So yeah, those are the two things. There's two things that we've been talking about. The Mark Henry face turn, Randy Orton heel turn. There's many sites, including the John Report. They're all saying that it's going to be Sheamus versus Orton heading into SummerSlam, which makes sense. You don't have to do the Triple H Orton deal prior to SummerSlam, but maybe that's a part of it. Maybe because we know there is a good relationship between Sheamus and Triple H backstage. Maybe they bring that into light. But a definite Orton heel turn has to take place unless they make Sheamus a heel, and I guess that's also good, but it wouldn't be as good as an Orton heel turn. So this is Shotgun Saturday Afternoon here on Talk Wrestling Radio Network, and if you missed, let me start that over because that's not happening anymore. Tonight at 7 p.m. Wrestling Randomness starts at 7 p.m. It's a new live show. They're going to be talking about the week that was in WWE and TNA. I hear Jason is really pissed off about TNA, so definitely check that out as soon as it's available. If you can't listen live, because I don't know when this is going to replay, definitely check it out on replay or on demand. Always cool. On Monday at 6 p.m., get a pre-show to Raw. A proper pre-show, not the Yahoo stuff that WWE is planning. A really, really good show. It's called the Hour Bomb. I believe it starts this week, so definitely check that out. New show to TWR. They also replay at noon on Tuesdays if you miss it. So then on Tuesday, the FTW podcast comes to you at 8 p.m. as we react to the week that was in WWE and TNA as always. We're also going to be doing some preview for Slammiversary. We don't want to talk a whole lot about it because we want to see what happens this coming Thursday on the Go Home Impact. So as soon as that airs next Saturday, in place of Shotgun Saturday Afternoon, or maybe we will label it Shotgun Saturday Afternoon. I'm not positive yet, but it's going to be our Slammiversary pre-show 1:30 on TWR Network. Definitely check that out. And also on Wednesday we have Jobber Radio and Shooting from the Hip. They both should be back with new shows this week, so definitely check that out. So what now are we going to talk about? First, I do want to say Happy Memorial Day to everyone, and if you're a veteran, good on you. Much appreciated. This is Memorial Day weekend, so a lot of people are out. I know that there wasn't a lot of people listening to the live stream, and rightfully so. Go out and enjoy the nice weather if you have it. Us Clevelanders do not have it. It's been pretty chilly for the last couple of days, so. Right now, I believe it's in the 50s, but that's okay. I've got my lemonade here, so yeah, we're gonna enjoy it. So enjoy your 3-day weekend if you aren't already, and yeah, let's go from there. Let's talk some more wrestling. Again, we were prepared to talk with FTW writer Chevy Daniels about the booking of The Miz, what he would do differently, what WWE is not doing properly, and what's available to him. But we're gonna have to hold off that conversation until another time. So Chevy, most likely, I'm going to pressure him to write a blog post about it because I think it's interesting. It's a different opinion than what I have. So this was kind of be an argument, really, just because I don't see Miz as quality in the role he has. But I don't want to dive into it. Hopefully we can reschedule that. Hopefully he does a blog post so that we can start that conversation on ftwpodcast.com. So instead, let's talk about something that I was going to bring up on TGIX a couple weeks ago, but again, that show had some technical difficulties. I think what this is saying to me is that on the Tuesday shows, if I can keep my internet awesome, the Tuesday shows are always pretty much perfect. Saturday shows, for some reason, me trying to do a Saturday show on TWR is not working out. Or even the Friday show on last week for TGIX. It seems like there's always been some kind of complication. Normally on my end, it's nothing to do with TWR, so we got to get that worked out. But regardless, all right. Let's talk about the problem with instant replay and not going to countouts. Basically, this stemmed from what we saw at Extreme Rules as well as the following Raw. Basically, Ryback versus Cena. Their match was supposed to be a last man standing match, and Ryback got up on his own and was able to walk out. Cena was stretchered out, yet there was no 10 count initiated. There was no count in general. Instead, Little Nate ran and saw that both guys went through the Titantron, all those lights and whatnot, and instead of starting the count, or at least going up to a 5 before he waved it off, he just the match was kind of ended. It was the weirdest end to a match that I can remember in a long time, and yeah, so that happened. Lots of controversy. People were upset, and he responded on Twitter basically saying, I was more into, and I'm paraphrasing here, but he said something along the lines of, quote, I was more interested at the time of their welfare, not the match, and they both looked hurt, so that's what he did. He, whatever. So he gave his explanation. We don't buy it because that kind of sucks. We understand the ending, the ending of the match, as far as putting together an ending that didn't destroy either of these guys was the best idea. If you had Ryback lose cleanly, or even by DQ, or not DQ, but interference or something, that looks really awful on Ryback. And a lot of people disagree with me in saying that Ryback's ready. Most people don't think Ryback is ready to hold the WWE title, to even be competing for the WWE title. I mean, if you go to Bleacher Report, I posted this a photo of my RSS feed. I use Feedly, so I took a picture of all of the headlines for the day. I think there was like 5 or 6 of that morning, and basically everyone was negative. Of course, it's pulling stuff in from Wrestling News Source, and they're mostly news, but also Bleacher Report and with Leather, and it basically just showed that there was 3 posts there of people just negatively shitting on Ryback, and how Ryback was never going to get over and is never going to be the guy that WWE wants. There's no way we can foresee that. So I find that negativity really premature and counterproductive. But still, that shows that a lot of people don't have the belief that Ryback can do anything. I totally disagree. I like Ryback, and I think what they're doing with him is fine. But to have Cena beat him would be bad. To have him hold the title, I can kind of sort of agree that having Ryback as champion right now doesn't really fit, because that there isn't really that next guy, that next face to take over if Cena's injured, as it seems like he sort of is. So best resolution, I think, for that was to have this type of ending. I just would have done it differently. And I think, this is something that we talked about on FTW 165. We've also talked about on the blog and the Facebook group and, everything. It's been said. So outside of that, there is also the Triple H versus Curtis Axel on Raw. It was the main event of Raw this week. And basically, the match was thrown out because Triple H couldn't continue. And again, that was another thing that just didn't sit well, didn't make sense. Now they've gone back and I would pull this up to verify, but again, my internet is being really crappy right now. So, but they've gone back and have corrected this mistake from what I can tell, and that is basically they have now, so Curtis Axel defeats Triple H. They've now said that previously they didn't. The way they ended Raw was just really awkward, where they had Triple H basically not being able to continue. And then that was the end of the show. There was no bell rung. There was no, acknowledgement from the commentary that Curtis Axel won. It was just, it was just a reaction to how serious the condition of Triple H was, whatever that was at the time. I mean, to me, it just kind of looked like a concussion thing. He was all foggy. He was kind of stumbling, and if he turned too quickly, that's when he would kind of lose control. So that made sense that that's the direction they're going with the concussion. So, but there's a huge problem with that. It's not realistic to just hand a win, to not hand a win over, to just end a match. They did it 2 nights in a row, and I think it was really a bad call for them. Another bad call that they had was the instant replay. At Extreme Rules, we got introduced to the idea that now if a ref wants to see an instant replay, he doesn't like how something ended, so we saw the end to Del Rio versus Swagger. Zeb Coulter threw the towel in, and the referee thought it was a towel thrown in by Ricardo Rodriguez. So Ricardo argued, and so the ref went out and called for an instant replay, got an instant replay, and wow, that just kills a lot of Wrestling 101 basic stuff if they continue to push this. And so far they haven't yet, but I gotta imagine you can't just bring this in for one night and then not include it ever again. You have to include it in some way. But wow, does that kill a lot of opportunities to, for a heel in general. I mean, look at how heels, one of the major characteristics of a bad guy is he causes interferences with the refs. So he takes the refs, view and, either, takes a steel chair against the guy, or there's some kind of dirty heel move, or there's interference from the outside, and the ref is always distracted or knocked down or something. And that's a key thing that if they bring an instant replay, they're basically taking out of the equation, and that's horrible. That is awful. So another thing that this kills is characters that were built on the idea of doing dirty heel tactics that can now be overturned with instant replay, such as Twin Magic. Despite a portion of the IWC hating that they continue to push that side of their characters, that is a huge side of what made the Bellas cool when they first came in, as that Twin Magic that they could easily replace each other in the ring. And now with instant replay, you are removing that altogether. And I think this is a bad call by WWE. It's cool to have, the realism re-added, but to add it in this fashion and to take away so many basic Wrestling 101 stuff, it's a totally bad move, especially because they are already struggling to get heels over, to get, look at Ryback as a perfect example. If Ryback now can't have distractions to the ref or can't, do the normal dirty heel tactics in the ring while the ref isn't looking, or, even when the ref, when the ref is counting and he's holding the ropes or something, like he can't do that. Now, the only way to be a quote unquote heel, unless I'm missing something, and you guys can help me out. I mean, if you see something here that I'm not seeing, tell me. But if they keep this, really the only general way that a heel is going to get over is either attacking faces, which, is a normally acceptable method to start a feud, but that's not going to continue it as long. It's not going to continue it if he can't keep pushing that heel envelope. The other problem is, the other option is just to continue to attack the fans, and I hate that. I hate that option. I think there's better constructive ways to do it than relying on that. When CM Punk started attacking the fans, it was really awkward. When Ryback does it, again, it's awkward. I'd rather see that stuff happen in the ring, and and if they bring instant replay in as a definite thing, that's going to ruin that. That's going to make it really hard. And I think the last thing they need to do is stray away from, what makes wrestling cool and what makes wrestling work, and bring in something like this as a distraction. And I think that's all it's going to be. And people are going to get tired for it. So, all right. So we're about done. I suppose I could continue talking, but since no one's live, not doing a live show is so weird, but you'll have that. So anyways, let's quickly do a 60-second thing. Ask FTW. Soul Patrol Brony sent this question in. We didn't get to it on FTW, so I'm going to get to it now. And that is, he asked on the TWR Network forums. Just go to twrnetwork.com, click forums, and lots of cool conversations happening there. But this is one question that he posted for us, and it was, with the pay-per-views each about a month apart, is that a sufficient time to book a proper feud? This is a really interesting question, just because now we have something to compare it to. I mean, like you look at months ago, you look at wrestling history. A month to book a proper feud from pay-per-view to pay-per-view, has that been good? And realistically, I think we can all agree that a majority of feuds that happen between pay-per-views that begin and end during that pay-per-view cycle aren't good. The product has kind of suffered because it seems like it's just oversaturated. But then on the flip side, you look at what TNA is doing with their 4 pay-per-views, and I don't know. I don't think that they're handling it properly either. So I think it just feels really slow on the TNA side, but you get a full story being told. Does WWE need to do something like that? I don't know, but I think us as fans need to be more acceptant of longer feuds, longer rivalries. So the IC championship not defended this last pay-per-view. That's sucky. That should happen. Wade Barrett should be defending that title. But when you don't give them the amount of time, when Wade Barrett's not on TV every single week going up against someone, or starting a feud, you lose options. You lose a ton of options. So I think definitely the pay-per-views each being a month apart has hurt, but doing the opposite, doing what TNA is doing, I don't think it's gonna be accepted by the fans. You're gonna need a middle ground. Maybe going to instead of dropping it down to 4 pay-per-views, maybe 8 pay-per-views. I think might make more sense in the overall storytelling aspect. So, but that's it. This is the show. My name is Garvin, and for more about FTW, check out ftwpodcast.com. How to get involved in future shows, all the upcoming schedules. Also check out TWRnetwork.com for the full schedule. Thank you, everyone who tried to listen live. We'll do this again on Tuesday. Next up is Wrestling Randomness at 7 p.m. on Saturday if you're listening today. Otherwise, check it out on demand at TWRnetwork.com. This has been Shotgun Saturday Afternoon here on Talk Wrestling Radio Network. We're going to close you out with Evil Love by Uncle Acid and the Deadbeats. Have a good one, everyone.